Most people think Tesla's self-driving system works like this. The car looks at the road, understands what it sees, and then drives like a human would. Almost like a robot driver sitting behind the wheel, calmly making decisions in real time. That idea feels intuitive, clean, logical. It's also not how it works. And this is where the first misconception breaks, because Tesla's system is not understanding the road in the way a human does. It is constantly collecting raw visual data, breaking it into patterns, and making predictions about what is most likely to happen next. Not what is happening, what will probably happen next. That difference sounds small. It is not. Inside the car, multiple cameras are capturing the environment from different angles at the same time. What you see as a simple drive is actually a continuous stream of visual information being converted into structured data. The system doesn't see a pedestrian the way you do. It detects shapes, movement patterns, and motion cues, then labels them based on probability. And before we go deeper, this is the kind of breakdown where most people usually realize how much of modern technology is built on invisible layers like this. If you find this interesting, there are more breakdowns on the channel that follow the same pattern of revealing what's actually happening under the surface. Now, back to the system. Because identifying objects is not enough to drive a car. The system also has to predict behavior. And this is where things get more unstable than most people realize. A pedestrian is not just a static object. A car is not just a moving box. Every object on the road has potential future states. Will the pedestrian step forward? Will the car brake? Will the cyclist swerve left or right? Tesla's system is constantly running those simulations in real time, trying to assign probabilities to future movement paths. Not one prediction, many overlapping predictions happening at once. So what looks like driving is actually a continuous loop of prediction, correction, and reprediction happening dozens of times per second. But there's a hidden problem here most people never think about. If everything is based on prediction, then the system is never actually reacting to reality. It is reacting to the most likely version of reality it has computed. That gap is small most of the time, until it isn't. This is where perception systems become critical. The car is not relying on a single sense. It uses multiple cameras positioned around the vehicle to create overlapping views of the same environment. These views are stitched together into a unified understanding of space. But even this understanding is not true understanding. It is spatial modeling, a constantly updated 3D probability map of what the world might be at that exact moment. And here's where it gets more subtle. Because once the system builds that map, it still has to decide what matters. Not everything the system sees is equally important. A plastic bag blowing across the road is not treated the same as a stationary vehicle. A shadow is not treated the same as an object. So the system filters reality into levels of importance before it even decides what to do. At this point, something strange starts to emerge. The car is not just driving. It is interpreting a simplified version of reality that it builds for itself, on the fly, while moving at high speed. And every decision it makes is based on that simplified model, which leads to the uncomfortable realization most people avoid. What you call self-driving is not a system that understands the road. It is a system that is extremely good at guessing what the road is going to do next based on patterns it has seen before. And most of the time, that is enough, until the road does something it hasn't seen enough times to guess correctly. That is the boundary the system constantly lives on. And this is why systems like this are still evolving, not finished science. They sit right on the edge between prediction and reality, constantly trying to stay ahead of both. If you're into breaking down how systems like this actually work under the surface, this channel continues exploring exactly that kind of hidden complexity behind everyday technology. And the closer you look at it, the more it stops feeling like a driver and starts feeling like a prediction engine trying to stay ahead of reality itself.